In this video, we're going to solve a quadratic equation using the square root method. The equation that we're given is the quantity t minus 7 squared minus 22 equals 0. So to start, when we use the square root method, we need to isolate whatever expression is squared. So let's start with our original equation. We have t minus 7, and that's inside parentheses and squared. And then we're subtracting 22, and that's set equal to 0. So the first thing that we want to do is isolate this quantity t minus 7 that's squared. We'll do that by adding 22 to each side of the equation. So adding 22, we'll take that quantity t minus 7 squared minus 22, and then we'll add 22 to that left-hand side. And then that's equal to 0, and we'll add 22 to the right-hand side as well. Now that we've added 22 to each side, the left-hand side will simplify to that t minus 7 squared, and then the right-hand side will just have 22. Now that the expression that's a perfect square is isolated, we can apply the square root method. And so from here, this is equivalent to t minus 7 equal to the positive or negative square root of 22. Looking at this, we'll look and consider, can the square root of 22 be simplified? And since 22 does not have any perfect square factors, that radical is fully simplified. The next thing we want to do is solve completely for t. We have t minus 7 on the left, so to get t on its own, we'll add 7 to each side of this equation. So now we have t minus 7, we're adding 7 on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side we have the positive or negative square root of 22, and we're going to add 7 to that as well. So our left-hand side is just t. We've now solved completely for t. On the right-hand side, remember that the 22 is inside a radical, but plus 7 is just being added on its own. So those will not be combined, and we will generally write this with the 7 first. So we'll write 7 plus or minus the square root of 22. And so this is showing that we have two proposed solutions, 7 plus the square root of 22 and 7 minus the square root of 22. So we'll go through and check each of these. We don't always check with irrational solutions by hand, but here we'll show it. Sometimes we'll use a calculator, and sometimes we'll do the exact irrational solution. So let's check that first one. We're going to check t equals 7 plus the square root of 22. That's our first proposed solution, so we'll go to that original equation and replace t with 7 plus the square root of 22. So we're going to have inside parentheses 7 plus the square root of 22 minus 7. That quantity is squared. We're subtracting 22, and then we're checking does that equal 0. So now simplifying what's inside that squared expression, we have 7 plus the square root of 22 minus 7, which is simply the square root of 22 left inside those parentheses. So now we have the square root of 22 squared minus 22. We're checking, does that equal 0? And when we square the square root of 22, we just get 22. So now this simplifies to 22 minus 22, and we know that that's equal to 0. So that first proposed solution is checked. The second solution is going to look similar when we check it. We'll check 7 minus the square root of 22. So replacing t with 7 minus the square root of 22, we'll get 7 minus the square root of 22 minus 7, quantity squared. Then we'll subtract 22 and check, does that equal 0? Simplifying what's inside those parentheses, we have 7 minus the square root of 22 minus 7, so that becomes the negative square root of 22, and that's inside parentheses and squared. We're then subtracting 22 and checking, does that equal 0? When we square the negative square root of 22, we take negative square root of 22 times the negative square root of 22, and we just get 22. So we have 22 minus 22, and that, of course, equals 0. So now we can state our solution set, and it has two solutions, and I'll write those as 7 plus the square root of 22 and 7 minus the square root of 22. And again, stating that as a solution set, I've put those in curly braces, separating them with a comma.